I'm on the oversight committee, you might know, and that is where we did a study recently this fall in September, and what it showed is if we don't electrify our transportation sector, that we're going to lose more than 500,000 Californians dying prematurely.
Hate. You love to hate. Our video of the day comes from that lump of grumpy potatoes, Katie Porter, who wants to be California's next governor. She was recently asked if more damning clips of her might be released, which is like asking Jesse Waters if he's offended any foreigners lately.
So Greg Gutfeld just turned politics into a comedy show, and this time he went after Katie Porter, the Congress whiteboard queen. 1 minute she's showing off her math skills, and the next Greg is roasting her like a bad review, and the best part, she ends up exposing herself more than Greg ever could, and it's just too funny.
California voters feel confident that there aren't any more Katie Porter videos out there.
Well, what I know is that I could have done better in those moments. I'm going to be focused on earning their votes and earning their trust.
But not just the CBS interview, the interview with the staffer. Can voters be confident that there won't be another one of those videos that's going to come to light?
What I do know is that I could have done better in that situation.
But that's not a no. So is there potentially another video that we're going to see?
Promise.
The more a politician refuses to answer a question, the more obvious the real answer is.
Okay guys, if you're having fun, don't forget to hit subscribe because wow, Katie Porter just learned the hard way that when Greg Gutfeld goes off, it's not a chat, it's total destruction. 1 second she's holding that famous whiteboard like her superhero shield, and the next Greg's using it for target practice. He didn't just talk about her politics, he made it a whole show.
Know that I understand what I did was not good. I'm not going to mince words about it, but I also want people to understand that I am in this fight because I am not going to back down.
Tyrus, I was talking about this in the 5, that I kind of like her for being, she's like a retro 70s mom.
Yeah, you like
Everyone looked like her.
Why don't you have dinner with her, Greg?
So it felt like a comedy roast mixed with a therapy session for tired taxpayers. Katie showed up thinking it was serious business, but Greg turned it into a laugh fest, using nothing but sarcasm, common sense, and that grin that says he's been waiting for this moment all week.
So the campaign manager for Katie Porter allegedly told her, "You looked bad the other night." She said, "You mean the interview?" And he said, "What interview?" Meanwhile, Sonoma County in California has reinstituted mask mandates for healthcare facilities. It's all part of a larger effort to cover half of Katie Porter's face. Just when we're running out of weirdos.
So the whole mess started when Katie made her big dramatic entrance into another episode of politicians exposing themselves. She thought she was revealing some huge corruption secrets, but turns out she only exposed her own stuff, and the irony was so thick it could honestly be breakfast.
The potatoes, Greg.
Yeah, no kidding.
No, there's nothing nice about her. Why do we have to in her defense, I was waiting for the practical, usual woman defense. Whenever someone, why did you do that? Well, they did something to upset me. It was somebody else's fault. There's no accountability, nothing new. So yeah, you didn't like that, did you, ladies? Because you guys do that stuff. But the worst part about her is that it's Halloween and she's coming out now.
Yeah.
It's like, scary. Oh, it's scary. Like if she jumped out of a dark alley, I would throw you in.
You could almost feel the world pause, like, wait, is this really happening, Katie, with her whiteboard and that I know better attitude trying to school everyone while her own secrets are spilling out faster than a DC intern's tweet, and Greg didn't even break a sweat. He just watched her self-destruct in full HD, like the class clown who never raises his hand but still cracks the teacher up because he's seen this circus too many times and knows every clown by name. She came in with stats and speeches, but Greg came in with sarcasm and jokes, and by the end it looked less like politics and more like a Mythbusters episode where everything she said got blown up by humor and logic, and that look on her face said it all, like, I'm teaching you democracy. Wait, why is everyone laughing?
So something's off with today's Democrats. Take Katie Porter, who's running for governor of California. She's the left's latest ray of sunshine, and like the sun, looking directly at her will damage your eyes.
What do you say to the 40% of California voters who you'll need in order to win, who voted for Trump?
How would I need them in order to win, man?
Well, unless you think you're going to get 60% of, so you don't
I
think
feel like this is unnecessarily argumentative. What is your question?
Well, to those voters. Okay, so you...
I don't want to keep doing this. I'm going to call it.
You're not gonna do the interview with them?
Nope, not like this. I'm not. Not with 7 follow-ups to every single question you ask.
So it all kicked off when 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐜𝐥𝐚𝐢𝐸 tried to give this super serious speech, but Greg flipped it into a hilarious highlight reel of political nonsense, and then came that oh no moment when she forgot the cameras were still on and her perfect honest image cracked wide open. Suddenly, Miss Truth and Justice looked more like Miss Don't Open My Inbox. Greg barely had to say a word. He just watched the chaos like someone enjoying live TV while the internet exploded with memes and screenshots. She tried to fix it, but nope, the damage was done. Greg didn't accuse, he just let the irony speak, and that's what made it sting. Her whole clean image turned into a punchline faster than anyone could blink.
Then there's this recently surfaced nugget.
To air pollution and other problems, and the state could lose. Get out of my shot.
I wanted to tell you that that's actually incorrect. It's not that it's electric vehicles, it's that if we don't meet the commitments under the Paris Climate Accord.
Okay, it does. Okay, you also were in my shot before that. Stay out of my shot.
Nice girl.
Yeah. No wonder everyone who works for her ends up on a milk carton. If only she could retain staff the way she retains water.
So it all started to crumble when 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐜𝐥𝐚𝐢𝐸's serious speeches began sounding like pure comedy, and every I fight for the people line felt like a scripted ad. Greg somehow made the whole thing hilarious, turning her beloved whiteboard into a prop. Not of honesty, but of pure performance every time she wrote something. He reminded everyone that numbers lie when politicians hold the marker. It was sharp, funny, and totally deserved, like catching a magician mid-trick, and with elections around the corner, it couldn't have been worse for her while Greg's fans turned every quote into a meme. He just laughed through it all, treating her like a sitcom character instead of a leader. And honestly, it worked because by the end, every big word she ever said felt like part of the joke.
And she's done this before. She has scared everybody in this audience in our childhood. Remember Pee Wee Herman?
Yeah.
When he was on the road in Texas, Large Marge rolled up? It was that one right there. Kennedy's having a flashback.
I said that the other day on the phone.
Yes, you did.
Yeah, she just reminds me of
Beulah
like my
Ballbreaker
friends'
from the
mothers
Porkies.
when I was a kid. There's like something very retro about her. But Molly, you know what she has? She has reverse charisma. You know, like when charisma is if you have power and empathy, because people like Bill Clinton, he had power, but he had empathy, and then he tried to bang it.
So the moment Greg started talking, the crowd lost it because deep down, everyone knew this wasn't only about 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐜𝐸𝐸. It was about every fake politician pretending to be honest. He used her slip-up to roast the whole system, and while her team tried to clean up online with boring hashtags and blame games, the internet was already having too much fun. The memes were fire, the jokes unstoppable. Greg didn't just win, he owned the story, and his fans were loving every second. It felt like watching a comedian roast Congress live, and the best part? He didn't need any setup because 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐜𝐸𝐸 basically brought the props herself. She turned into the example of what happens when a politician preaches money lessons while their own wallet's a mess. Greg even joked she was like that teacher who bans phones then starts scrolling. Hers, it was harsh, but totally fair because once you act perfect, the internet's gonna dig, and when it does, it's never pretty.
Talk about that Katie Porter interview. Right, so if you don't know, Katie Porter, she's running to be the governor of California, and you had Julie Watts, who covers the state of California for CBS, interviewing her. Right, and you had Watts sitting down with this pool of candidates to discuss issues in the state. For some reason, things got quickly heated between Porter and Watts during this question.
What do you say to the 40% of California voters?
No surprise she freaked when she heard 40%, since that's her level of body fat.
So it all blew up, not because 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐜𝐸𝐸 did something huge, but because what came out was just plain embarrassing. The kind of stuff that makes you laugh and cringe at the same time. Greg, being Greg, turned it into pure entertainment instead of preaching. He poked fun at how politicians act holy while secretly doing the same nonsense. He joked that every scandal now comes with fake outrage and a fresh merch line. And when 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐜𝐸's team tried to spin it into a learning story, Greg just rolled his eyes, saying Washington loves redemption tales, but forgets that honesty isn't a hashtag. And honestly, that hit hard because politics now feels like one big improv act where everyone's pretending to care more than the other. He wasn't just roasting 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐜𝐸𝐸, he was exposing the whole show, the way these so-called truth tellers sell their outrage like brand deals, and 𝐃𝐢𝐬𝐜𝐸𝐸 ended up the best example, a walking lecture on honesty, tripping right over her own message.
She has like reverse empathy where she has power, but she lords it over the people that are in her like employment.
And what's so weird about this is she's a politician. And you might like think they're cruel and narcissistic, and she's like definitely showing that. But usually they're good at like hiding it.
Yes.
Reaching out to a broad group of people. Like the whole interview that got her in trouble in the first place. Remember the interviewer was like, how are you going to reach out to people who voted for Donald Trump? And she was like, I hate them. Like, I don't need to. And it was like, but this is what happens when you're in a supermajority state like California.
So by the end, it turned into this perfect mix of comedy and truth. Greg used that whiteboard like a prop to show how nothing in politics ever sticks for long, and somehow it felt like he gave the whole country a therapy session. People weren't just laughing at Katie, they were laughing at the ridiculousness of it all. The fake morals, the spin, the endless drama. Greg didn't need to yell. He just pointed at the chaos and let the silence do the work. And that's what made it hit so hard. He's mastered the art of letting politicians expose themselves, and even though Katie tried to laugh it off, you could tell it stung, because it's not easy being the joke when you've built your career on being the one telling them.
Inflation is the #1 priority for the Biden White House to try to get under control right now. As you're out there in California talking to constituents during this re-election year for Congress, how does inflation compare to this newly important, in the sense of the Supreme Court decision pending, abortion issue? How do those two issues compare?
Watch this, not compare.
Well, I don't think they compare. I think they actually reinforce each other. So the fact that things like inflation can happen and it can become more expensive to feed your kids and to fuel your car.
So after all the drama, Greg just moved on like it was nothing. That's his whole thing. He drops a few jokes, blows the roof off, and walks away while everyone else tries to look calm. The audience cheers. The moment goes viral, and the poor politician is left fixing what's left of their image. Katie's whiteboard might still shine, but her reputation definitely doesn't. Greg's roast wasn't just comedy. It was a reminder that the louder someone acts pure, the messier things usually are. And now, no matter what Katie says or does, people will always see her as the one who got roasted so hard even her whiteboard couldn't save her.
Can gain political power without actually reaching out to a broad group of people. I just want to say, I desperately want to see these additional videos. Like, she all but just said, like, they're out there.
You know what you did? This is the link between California and New York. Why is New York about to elect a socialist mayor? It's because the one-party system, it's overwhelmingly Democrat. Anybody can make it. She can make it and he can make it. That's what they have in common. These single party things, man, they're dangerous.
Well, and also like Trump, right? Like he'll say these outlandish things and everything, and like so maybe she thinks, well, I can be this outspoken kind of larger than life personality. But the difference is Trump is funny.
So maybe that's what makes Greg's moment kind of genius, because underneath all the laughs he actually gave what most politicians never do, a bit of real perspective, showing that the truth isn't just in someone's secrets, but in how they handle getting caught. Katie's mess wasn't world-ending, it was just human. But Greg turned it into a mirror that showed everyone how tired we all are of the fake political act. He didn't just roast her, he reminded people why he's the only one who can turn a political meltdown into something that feels both funny and real. So yeah, Katie spilled her truth, but Greg exposed something way bigger, the whole ridiculous show that politics has become, and no amount of whiteboard spin can clean that up. So if you had fun watching all this drama unfold and you love seeing the truth served with a little humor, then don't forget to hit that subscribe button and stick around, because here on Jacob Reports, we keep the gossip real, the laughs loud, and the truth even louder.